Today on Just Go, revving it up.
Woo-hoo! How good is this?
Getting high on food.
Simon, this is delicious.
A wilderness wonderland.
It's just such a naturally beautiful, wonderful place.
All that and more on Just Go.
The Aussie coastline is nearly 60,000 kilometres long. That is a lot of ice creameries, fish and chip shops and caravan parks. I mean, we're definitely spoiled for choice with our beachside towns. But somehow they all managed to put their own spin on a coastal getaway. You'll find those iconic Aussie staples plus so much more in the charming country town of Inverloch in southeastern Victoria. I'm taking the scenic route on my way into town, the Bunurong Coastal Drive, and it's well worth it. Once in town, you've got the wild surf of Bass Strait and the calm waters of Anderson Inlet, so take your pick. Aside from water, Inverloch has a fascinating past. Australia's first dinosaur bone was discovered in this region in 1903. So next time you're down here building a sandcastle, pay very close attention. Also about a century ago, much of Victoria's coal left the Inverloch Pier bound for Melbourne. These days it's a pleasant spot to take a walk or dangle a line. Speaking of history, the local Shell Museum has quite a collection of ancient fossils. This place is actually pretty impressive. All the shells from around the area?
No, they're from all over the world. They're a good collection from this area, but mostly from around the world.
Volunteer Janet Davies knows her fossils pretty well. What's the oldest thing you've got in here?
The oldest thing we have is an ammonite from France.
How old's that?
Fossil. I think it's 160 million years old.
160 million?
Yes.
It's probably not the prettiest looking shell I've ever seen, but I guess if I was 160 million years old, I wouldn't be overly pretty either.
No.
While checking out the local area, I'm staying at the resort-style Big Four Inverloch Holiday Park. A range of accommodation means there's something to suit everyone. It's a great spot to relax, and I'm especially looking forward to a swim in that heated pool. But first, a bite to eat. Now, for me, the heart of a beachside town is its fish and chips, so I'm putting Inverloch to the test. Okay.
What do you like?
Now tell me, what's the best local fish?
We've got nice fresh flake and a crispy chips.
That is me, one of those.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
And the best thing about fish and chips is you can take them anywhere you want. I mean, talk about restaurant with a view. And by the way, these definitely pass the test. Very good. Not only is this a beautiful place to relax, it's a great launching pad to explore the wider region. An hour's drive down the road is mainland Australia's most southerly point, Wilson's Promontory. It's renowned for its hiking and truly natural beauty. Continue further east and you'll hit the Gippsland Lakes, a huge network of waterways and a mecca for sailing and other aquatic sports. Away from the water, you can do this. Now, Gary, you are living every big kid's dream. This is heaven.
Well, it's a nice place, yes, and you've got the best of both worlds. You've got here to do the quad biking, and then over you've got the lake and all that over there where you can go and do jet skiing.
Gary Haig runs Adrenaline Quad Bike and Jet Ski Hire, and the name says it all. Now, I don't know a lot about quad biking, but this seems like the ideal location.
It's beautiful. It's not too hilly. It's plenty of open spaces, so they're not going to run into one another. They can all have a good go at it.
It has been lovely chatting, but I want to get more time on this.
Well, let's go.
I don't know how to turn her on, Gary. Gary? Coming, Gary! Now, how would I sum up this part of Oz? Fast-paced action and a coastline that speaks for itself. Well said. And if you're travelling to Gippsland, be sure to take your CIL Travel Saver card with you for a 15% discount on adrenaline quad bikes and 10% off scenic flights over Wilson's Promontory. As well as discounts on tourist attractions, your free CIL Travel Saver card provides thousands of offers and savings around Australia on tours, accommodation, restaurants, theme parks, adventure sports and much more when you insure with CIL Insurance, Australia's leading specialist caravan and RV insurer.
After the break, food that keeps you on top.
Beautiful.
Have you noticed how rooftops have become the new trendy place to meet, eat, cool off, even grow things? It's no surprise then that right around Australia, more and more restaurants are looking up. How gorgeous is this place? Lovely night, fresh air. How can you not feel on top of the world? Opened in 1935, Jimmy Watson's is a Carlton institution and one of the oldest and most respected wine bars in Melbourne.
Hi Lee, are you enjoying our rooftop?
I'm absolutely loving it, but you know what? I think I'll enjoy it a little bit more if I get to try one of your famous reds.
I'll get straight onto it.
Simon Watson is the grandson of the founder Jimmy and is happily carrying on the family tradition. So tell me, what makes Jimmy Watson's a favourite for so long?
I think it's probably the simplicity. It's such a very simple place and it's always been accessible to people and affordable.
How long has this beautiful rooftop been here?
With the rooftop, roughly 2 years. It's been a beautiful area up here. It's been very well received. It's a lovely place in summer and people love it.
The rooftop echoes Simon's grandfather's motto that Jimmy Watson's is a great place to drink, talk, argue and laugh. Now, I know you're famous for your wines, but tell us a little bit about the food menu as well.
Simple, good food, cooked simply. It's the only way to do it, really.
Simon invites me to help prepare one of their signature dishes. Kush, tell us about the dish that we're cooking today.
I'm cooking barramundi fillet.
Yep.
With sauté veg and harissa sauce, which is
Fantastic.
Middle Eastern spices. So what I'll do, I'll just season my fish with salt, garlic.
Wow.
So we just press our fish for like 3 seconds. So it will just take all the moisture out, so it doesn't shrink too much and don't get too rubbery.
Fantastic.
Salt, pepper, garlic, a bit of lemon juice on top. I'm gonna let it sit for like 3 minutes.
Okay.
So this is Middle Eastern spices. So harissa, which is like coriander, cumin, smoked paprika, roast capsicums, garlic, lemon juice. This oil is gonna give all this fish a nice flavor.
Beautiful.
Simon, this is delicious.
Absolutely, isn't it? They do a good job.
Kush has done a very good job. You know, with food like this, I hope you stay on top for another 80 years.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to stay for dessert?
I would love to, but I think I'm going to be good. I'd hate to not be able to make it back down to street level. Wow, I know I said I was going to be good, but look at all of this.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey, what do you suggest?
I'll bring a few things out for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. A couple of blocks down from Jimmy Watson's is the dessert box. The name is temptation enough. Well, it could be a while before I can make it up to another rooftop again. By the way, I am only eating this fondue. Maybe. Probably.
Up next on Just Go, nature at its best.
These are the best reflections in the world. Is this as good as it gets?
Pretty much it is, Coxie.
I'm in the old mining town of Strahan. and I've decided to jump aboard the tour to northwest Tasmania's world-famous wilderness region.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Lady Jane Franklin 2 for our cruise on the Macquarie Harbour and up the Gordon River.
We head out through the narrow and notorious opening to Macquarie Harbour, which often claimed the lives of criminals arriving from colonial Britain.
One of the great things this cruise does, it takes us through this entrance, which the convicts christened Hell's Gates, because they were sailing into hell.
You get very big swells off the coastline here. You'll end up with the tide either ripping in or ripping out.
Thankfully, Captain Michael Baxter seems to know what he's doing. With the treacherous waters of Hell's Gates safely navigated, we make our way up the Gordon River amid the jaw-dropping beauty of the Tasmanian wilderness. The still conditions mean we're treated to the most spectacular reflections I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Plus, we go within touching distance of the awe-inspiring Huon pines, which grow up to 3,000 years old. Like everyone else, it even seems Captain Mike wants to get closer to this amazing World Heritage Site.
It's got to be one of the most beautiful natural places in the world.
Actually, he's just parking the boat so we can take a walk through this ancient wonderland.
Look, it doesn't really matter what the weather's doing or what time of year. It's just such a naturally beautiful, wonderful place. It's spectacular on any day in any conditions.
So is this the Franklin or the Gordon here?
No, this is the Gordon River. The Franklin River's about another 25 k's upstream.
And with all the fun and games all those years ago, that's where they were going to dam up there, weren't they?
Yeah, about another 25 odd kilometres further up is Warner's Landing, and that's where all the protests took place.
Speaking of protests, our next stop is the Sarah Island Penal Colony, where the convicts who survived Hell's Gates had plenty to complain about.
You were sent to this building to contemplate your own mortality in silence and darkness.
How hard was it here? Was it probably the worst?
Look, it has a reputation of being the very worst out of all the secondary settlements.
Kaya Davey takes tours of this cruel relic of British colonial rule.
They used the Macquarie Harbour cat as a form of punishment. So you've got 3 cats of 9 tails woven together to create a thicker, longer cat of 9 tails, knotted with lead pieces picked through it so that your back opens up with the very first lash.
How many would you get? How many lashes?
All right, anywhere up to 100.
Wouldn't that kill you? Like 50 of those lashes?
It certainly killed one person here. And they estimate that he probably died around about 25 or 26 lashes, but they continued to flog him until all 50 lashes were issued, and then they discovered he was dead.
Good God.
I head back to Strahan to celebrate, well, just being alive.
I reckon it's time for a beer. A Tasmanian beer, of course. Cheers.
When Just Go returns, some very dry and very wet, but all amazing hot spots.
Now it's time for our Just Go hotspots. A quick look at some great places around Australia you might want to add to your travel bucket list. South Australia's second largest city by population, Mount Gambier is perched on the slopes of an extinct volcano. Its biggest tourist drawcard is the famous Blue Lake that changes colours dramatically with the seasons. It turns a vivid blue during the summer months, and there are several viewing spots along the walking track and road around the lake's edge from which to admire this quirk of nature. Another of nature's local attractions is the Umfeston Sinkhole, which is a typical example of the limestone caves that dot this area, known not surprisingly as the Limestone Coast. The sinkhole has been transformed into a beautiful garden, and keep an eye out for the unusual sculptures, as well as the possums at nightfall. About 50 kilometres north of Mount Gambier is Penola, where an 18-year-old girl began a spiritual journey that led to her becoming Australia's first saint. The Mary MacKillop Centre celebrates the life of the dedicated teacher who co-founded the Sisters of St Joseph, who to this day are committed to educating the poor children of the world.
Almost resembling an alien landscape, Mungo National Park in southwestern New South Wales is a must-go if you're fascinated by the ancient history of the driest continent on Earth. Once abundant with water and wildlife, the long-since dried-up series of lake beds is famous as one of this country's most important archaeological sites. The oldest human skeleton ever found in Australia, Mungo Man, is just one of many significant Aboriginal relics discovered here. Part of the World Heritage Willandra Lakes region, visitors must bring their own food and water into the park. There are 2 campsites and guided tours are available. Not far away, Yanga National Park is a reminder of a much more recent past. Yanga Homestead has been preserved and is open to the public as a legacy of what was once a thriving pastoral property. The park borders the fabled Murrumbidgee River, so most people visiting Yanga find time for a spot of fishing or some other way of enjoying this well-known waterway while exploring the history of the region.
Western Australia's Margaret River is renowned as a great place to sample the fruits of its internationally regarded wineries and to ride some very big waves. But the river itself is also a popular spot to jump on a board and explore the scenic surrounds of the area. If you prefer sitting to standing, you can hire a canoe or take a guided tour that takes you well upstream, where you'll learn why the first Australians were able to survive on bush tucker for thousands of years.
If you chew on it as you're walking, you get enough starch and water for you to maintain as you're on a long trek.
The region is riddled with an amazing network of caves that go deep underground, and most tours allow time to scout these before heading home. When you return from the bush, the town of Margaret River is well worth spending a day or two getting to know. But of course, it's the surrounding vineyards that draw many to this area, and there's no shortage of guided winery tours available. Cheers!
Well, that's it for now. But if you'd like more info about the great places featured on today's show, go to our website, justgotv.com.au. And to get the most out of what this stunning country has to offer, my advice, just go.